Hallelujah. It's good to be home. I mean that. It's good to be home. This time last Sunday morning I was in surgery. And I'll just tell everybody quickly what happened to me. And last Sunday morning I got up, started to get ready to come to church. My heart started jumping all over the place and went out of rhythm. Up to 155, 95, 135, 110, all over the place. So we went to the emergency room, and they put me on an IV drip, a cardism. And about 3 hours later, in the emergency room over here at over at St. Mary's Hospital, my heart stopped. It stopped for 12 seconds. And I have never seen a doctor move as quickly as the emergency room doctor did. And the nurses, they came flying. And they one immediately grabbed my arm and gave me a shot of something. And the doctor had this look on his face. But before any of them came, I told my wife sitting next to me, I said, I'm leaving, something's happening. And I could tell I was going off. When there's no oxygen to your brain, your heart stops beating, you start losing it, and you lose it pretty quickly, 12 seconds. And I wasn't too far from being unconscious. Let me say this to you, if you ever have to go through anything like that, there's no pain in that. I wasn't gasping for breath. It's just a few seconds later. I could have been unconscious. I know that. I would have been. No question about it. And there was a calmness in my soul because I knew where I'm going. I worried about her sitting there next to me. I thought this would be awful if she goes home and I'm not with her. But there was just something in there. You can't explain it unless you've been through it. You have to be there. And it's a weird thing. It's a powerful thing. You can't fight it off. When that happens to you, no man has power over the Spirit to retain it. There's only one that ever walked this earth that could put his Spirit into the hands of God, and that was the Son. But anyway, the doctor came in there, and he said, your heart stopped for 12 seconds. I didn't know how long. I said, well, I know it stopped because I felt it. 5 minutes later, a cardiologist was in there. 5 minutes later, I was in the operating room, and they were putting a temporary pacemaker in. I didn't know they had such a thing. And then the next morning, they put a permanent pacemaker in and put me in ICU for a couple of days. And from that point on, I've been recovering, and my heart's been in rhythm. And they put me on, I'm on some heavy-duty medicine, and I'm scheduled to do an ablation this coming May sometime. The doctor says she does ablations with pacemakers, and they work together and all that. And so we'll do what medical technology and medical science can do. But folks, your prayers are the thing that matter to me. And I know you were praying. And that's the number one thing. That's what matters. That means everything to me, is to know you can go into the operating room and still pray. I have. You can be in the emergency room and still pray. I have. You can be in intensive care and still pray. I have. And I thank the good Lord for that. And I know whom I have believed. And this faith that we have is real, folks. I mean, there's nothing in it more traumatic to your life, any more personal to you than the moment you die. And if you don't have peace and you don't have assurance and know that where you're going, then you're living a lie. It's just a big joke. But God was with me. And I feel better every day, stronger. What they did, they put a ticker in there that tells my ticker when to tick. So the ticker that I've got in there is ticking for my ticker, I guess. But whatever it is, I'm feeling a whole lot better. And thank you for praying for me. But I'll tell you, most of all, I'm glad to be home. Boy, I missed church last Sunday. I'm glad to be home. I want to read a card for you. So, dear church family, thank you so much for the beautiful flowers, so sweet. I really appreciate my church family. Thank you especially all the prayers, the cards, the calls, the visits is appreciated as well as you brighten my day and give me encouragement. I love each of you. Betty Lou Irwin. Is she with us this morning? All right. She's had a pretty rough go of it, and I know she wants you to keep praying for her. Folks, prayer works. Amen. When you're laid up in the hospital, I spent 36 hours flat on my back. 36 hours flat on my back. Couldn't get out of bed. 36 hours. Gives you plenty of time to think. I'm glad I know the Lord. I hope you do. Hope you do. Greatest friend you ever had.